Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Before we begin our conversation today, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, okay. Introduce myself. My name is Satriatu Bagus. I'm college from University of Umrah, Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji. I'm now in 5th semester in my major in education, English education. Go on.
Thank you, Satria, for introduce yourself.
Yeah, go on.
Before we learn more, perhaps can you tell us what kind of activity you has had in English?
My activity.
Yes.
What do you mean in activity? In my daily expense or so basically what you want to know my activity. Okay, then in within my college, I'm a college member, and also in my activity from outside, I also make a private tutor to the children based on learning English, and also I have compete in NEDC based on is the English debate 2 years in a row in 2019 wait 2020 and also 2021. So basically in that competition in those competition I got the first place as the best group in the debate in this year, basically in 2021. That is all. And also based on my job, I've been become what do you call it, master of ceremony. The master of ceremony from based on my experience in senior high school for Tanjung Pinang. Basically, that is all my activity based on my years in Umrah.
Oh, brother, I respect to you and thank you for
Yeah,
experience.
you're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, now that we are moving on to our point today, allow me to ask you a few questions about increasing ability of foreign language skills,
Okay,
reading,
go on.
listening, speaking, and writing. First, first question, how strategy and engineering have you improved your English reading skill?
In reading skill, huh?
Yeah, yes.
Uh,
First.
Yeah, well, basically, reading skills is means that some kind of people abilities to can manifest or to can understand what kind of reading, what kind of lecture that you read. So basically, my strategy or my techniques for reading comprehension is just repeatedly, or I call it practice on reading on the word. Basically, if we have a sentence, if you have multiple choices of words, basically you have to practice. So basically you have to speak it constantly, uh, and also understand the meaning of it. Basically, if you have a word, basically any word like conspicuous, so basically you have to study what kind of language that comprehend. Basically you have to read some literatures that have that word constantly, basically read it, and so on. If in the future you will know what is the meaning of the word. So basically that is my techniques or my strategy to make yourself good in reading.
Okay,
Go
thank
on.
you, brother.
That is all.
Some question. How about listening?
Listening.
Yes.
uh, Basically, if same as reading, listening is kind of a thing. Um, if you're talking about a native speaker, that you will must know the frequently the good, what you call it, good language of English. But listening is kind of a thing that you can also focus by means that you have to know every word that a people or native says. So basically, to increase your knowledge about sorry, listening comprehension, basically you will need to focus. My strategy is basically to make my mind to be focused, concentrate to what listeners, sorry, to what the resource that speaks. So basically, you have to focus and concentrate. That is all.
Okay, thank you. Uh,
Yeah. You're welcome.
Next question for speaking.
Speaking,
Yeah.
speaking comprehension. Huh? Um, in speaking means that we have some conversation has to be. Basically, you have to know. In in speaking comprehension, it means that you have to be precisely how to know what each the meaning of the word. Basically, if you want to talk somebody, you have to good in English, not all English. You have to be good at that language. So basically, to become a good uh, com- to become good in speaking, basically you have to learn about making a good conversations. So basically, what kind of language, what kind of word that can make people good about yourself. In reading, I have some strategies and also techniques. Basically, before you give your speech, before you give your speaking, you have to train based on knowledge that you know. What you can practice on? You practice on the mirror. You have to see to yourself what kind of word, what kind of speaking, what kind of dialect that you can present to your opposites by, and the techniques you have to practice on the mirror, practice on somebody that you know you that you can practice on. That is all to techniques or strategies that I know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For last question, how about writing? Writing.
If you ask about listening, reading, and also speaking, I can give you tips about that. But in writing, and I also in my training, and also in my, I call it, in my studies is to write something that you frequently know about the word. Basically, we are speaking English, but if you want to write it, want to write that sentence, it's kind of gruff because you have to know every single word that you have to write. Basically, if you just talk, it's easy. You can talk whatever you want, but if you want to write, you have to know base or the grammar, or also the things that you have to know before writing a word. Basically, my techniques or my strategy on writing comprehension, you have to know based on others. You have to know every word and every single sentence that you know, and you have to make it good in a paper. Uh, Basically, you have to learn about grammars. You have to learn about the rules of the writings. So basically, it's kind of rough, to make a good sentence in the paper. But in my techniques is you have to learn the rules, you have to learn the grammars, you have to learn how to make a good writing. That is all. I think that is not much of my techniques or my strategies on based on writing. That is all.
Okay, brother. Thank you for information. It's for an information, experience, and your suggestion. I understand what
Uh,
you talk, and I thank you very much for you.
yeah, you're
Yeah, thank
welcome.
you. Okay, see you next, Satria.
Yeah,
See you
welcome to
next
you
time.
too, Arif.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.